Hey everyone, I'm Jamie.
I'm Joel.
With The Sea Life, and we're going to bring you another episode of Should You? And this time it's Should You Go to Thailand? This is the story of a family of 4 traveling the world as often as possible, sharing their adventures. Join us all on this season as we find exciting new places to explore, living this crazy life on the go. So if you followed along, you know that we finished up our 6-week vacation in Southeast Asia, where we spent a month in Indonesia and Bali. And we just had that video come out, and now because we went to Thailand short notice right after Indonesia, now we're flying to Thailand.
We have a plane ticket to Thailand.
We have no hotel.
No hotels.
No transportation.
Nothing booked. It's gonna be awesome.
And we spent, what, 2.5 weeks there?
Something like that.
Yeah, and so we got back and we want to give you the breakdown of Thailand.
We said, what the heck? We're gonna go to Thailand. And it happened very short notice, like you said. The next day we got on a plane, arrived in Thailand, and it was awesome.
The best decision ever.
Awesome. I mean, just even from arriving in the airport to the getting in the van to drive to the hotel.
Everything was awesome.
It was such a major difference over Indonesia. It felt right. I mean, the kids were just exhilarated from the minute go, so it was fun.
So if you watched our video on Indonesia, you know, we said that it's not really for families, but Thailand is completely different. Even though you would think that it's probably not for families, it really actually is.
Maybe a little Pet Shop Boys. Night in Bangkok.
That's not Pet Shop Boys.
I believe that's Pet Shop Boys.
It is not.
Ooh.
It's not, because I had it on one of our other videos. And we still got to feel like we were adults while we were there. It was a good mix between family and adult time. And we just, you're right, from the moment we sat down, we were loving it.
Yeah, and it's quite funny. We'll cover quite a few things here, but like the accommodations weren't amazing. Things were still just as hard as they were in Indonesia, but the environment surrounding Thailand made it all just easy to take. It was like, whatever, it doesn't really matter. We're having fun.
Today what we're going to do is we're just going to go through the ins and outs of Thailand. Some of the things we want to cover is when to go, when we went. We're going to cover the scams, because there are scams in Thailand that you should be aware of. We're going to go over the places that we went and some of the hotel experiences that we had, and even the adventures that we went on, because they were pretty awesome. So the first thing we should talk about is maybe when you should go. Because like we said, we went short notice, and it was the perfect season in Indonesia, but believe it or not, when we got to Thailand, we found out it was the rainy season. So it was a little bit different. We figured, well, the weather would be the same, but it wasn't. And even though we were there in Thailand during the rainy season, I don't think it was rainy.
No, I don't think it hardly rained at all. I mean, there was a couple of really nice thunderstorms and stuff like that that we got to watch, but other than that,
we got to see some lightning, which was really, really nice.
And it was when it rained, it was the kind of rain that would cool things down. It didn't make things soupy. So it was really nice.
All right, so another thing that we want to talk about is transportation. So since Thailand is mostly a mainland, it's a lot easier to get around. Bangkok was really busy, but it seemed like it was easy to get from the airport to the hotel. And even though we stayed on Silam Road, which is so busy at night, like nutso, it was still easy to get through. We didn't have any issues with traffic. And then we went to the islands. We went to Koh Samui and Koh Tao. We didn't have any issues with transportation either.
The ferries were really nice.
Yeah.
The cars were really nice. Yeah, we had no problems. Everybody was there on time.
Yep.
Early. You know, it was great.
Yeah.
It was a non-event.
It was nice that the boats were on time. We didn't have to worry about, you know, the scheduling of the boats. They were on time. The traffic, even through when we were in Phuket, going through there was super easy. You know, we stayed on one side and most of our stuff was on the other side, but it still ended up being fairly anticlimactic as far as the traffic goes. So
nothing like other places that we've seen. It was but like the cleanliness of the cars, and it was great. You know, and the cars, the boats, the ferries, it was everything was, you know, very well kept. To include the regular taxis. The regular taxis were great.
Yeah, they were clean and super easy to get. So, and we'll talk about taxis here in just a minute. So like we said, we got there short notice, and the first place we went to was Bangkok. And our hotel wasn't the greatest, but when you book it the day before, you get what you can take. And we were on Silam Road. And at first we were like, oh gosh, it's gonna be super busy, it's gonna be super loud, but it ended up being the perfect place for us. And we were able to go just right down the street and get the most incredible street food ever. Yeah. We found a vendor that had pork everything. Everything was pork, and it was exactly what we wanted. And it was super cheap. I think it cost us $3 for 6 skewers of meat.
Anything on a stick is good.
And then from there, we were able to go to a night market and walk through the night markets. And when we say night market, they mean you can get anything there.
Yeah, I would be very leery about taking your children out in the dark. It's quite a remarkable change during the day. It goes from this very clean business district to at night, it is every story you've ever heard about Bangkok, and it's right there. Mm-hmm. So at night, if you're going to stay down there, I would be very, very cautious about taking your kids out and about.
Yeah, we kept our kids back at the hotel just because we had heard some stories, and
they were true.
They were true. And so you can get anything that you want at the night markets, but we still really enjoyed walking through them and just experiencing it and eating the Thai food and seeing the Thai culture. It was really a great experience and a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
So after Bangkok, we flew down to Koh Samui, which is a little island, and we stayed there for several days. And I don't think Koh Samui was necessarily our favorite place, but it was a nice, relaxing place and a little bit different than the hustle and bustle of Bangkok. And that's where we went jet skiing, and we went and saw the Big Buddha, and we had an incredible meal there. I mean, the food was really good at the Onion. And so we did like Koh Samui, but it was different.
Yeah, I think where we kind of messed up with Koh Samui, and we didn't have a choice because we booked all this last minute, was our hotel's up on the hill, and so everything's down in the bottom. Mm-hmm. And that kind of, so you couldn't really walk. It was a 1.5 mile walk. Just to
we
get
walked
down,
it.
Yeah, just to get down where things started to get interesting. So if I had to stay again, I'd definitely stay in the bottom where everything is, because there's shops and markets and all kinds of stuff.
After Koh Samui, we took a ferry to Koh Tao, and that was recommended to us by one of Joel's friends that he works with here, and he said the diving is awesome, and we fell in love with that little tiny island.
And it is tiny.
There was something about the vibe of Koh Tao. I don't know what it was, even though I got sick.
She knows what it was. It was tattoo parlors, dispensaries, and
restaurants
and bars.
In that order. You could go to a dispensary, eat at a restaurant, go to a bar, get drunk, and go to a tattoo parlor.
Yeah.
It was awesome, and I absolutely loved that.
Rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. Which was like, it just had a lot of it was a big party vibe, but where our hotel was, it was gorgeous. It was right on the water, and we had the most incredible view and the most incredible sunsets. And even though, again, we had problems with the hotel, we just didn't care. And we had the option of actually leaving our hotel, and we decided we loved it so much, and the owner there was so wonderful that we just were like, we don't want to go. It
was such a nice spot. It was really hot, and the air conditioner just did not work, and so the place didn't cool down until 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
it was rough, but it was such a nice, fun spot.
It was just, and we walked right out on the beach right there and went snorkeling, and even though the visibility wasn't the best, the fish were huge. So that was really a different take on a lot of the marine life, because we were so used to seeing all these little fish and whatever, but we got to see really big fish out there. And so we snorkeled it a couple of times. And even though I wasn't comfortable getting on the scooter, I think that maybe next time we'll try to figure out a way to make something happen so we can go and explore the rest of the island and see more of it. But we were only there for a short amount of time, and it's definitely a place that we have on our top 10 places to go back to.
So after Koh Tao, we had to fly into Phuket. So we had to go back to Koh Samui, fly to Phuket, which was uneventful, very easy. It's a nice airport. and then got a taxi to the marina, and then we went to
Koh Noi.
Koh Noi.
Originally, we were supposed to stay in the tree houses, but they didn't have any available, and it actually worked out better that they didn't. And that island is just so full of wildlife. I mean, just to see an Asian water monitor lizard that up close was scary, but so incredible. And the hornbill birds and just everything about it
nice.
was so beautiful. And the resort was so nice. They had a party for everybody that was staying there. And so you could mingle with people from all over the world. And our kids got to meet other kids. And like we've talked about in our other videos, a very big part of us traveling is our kids getting to know other kids. And our kids getting to play with other children. And they didn't get to do that in Indonesia, but they did get to do that in Thailand, and that was so important to us. And then after Koh Noi, we went to Phuket. And I will tell you, I did not like Phuket at all. Now that being said, let me back up a little bit.
I kind of liked Phuket. I think we were in the wrong spot in Phuket. That was we had an issue, and the issue could have been mitigated, but with enough time.
So when we got to Phuket, our hotel was up on the hill, and it is on oh my God, I'm going to screw up the name, Farabamiri Road, right up above Patong Beach. And it is so loud. In fact, our room overlooked the red tuk-tuks that play their bass and music until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And so we did not sleep for 3 days. Even though we asked to be moved to another room, it was still very loud. So if you're going to go to Phuket, one of the things that I would suggest is that you really look at where your hotel is situated, because if it's on one of those busy roads, you may not sleep the whole time you're there.
You kind of have to watch where your hotel is or where your room is. So if you're staying on the beach, you're probably not going to have a problem if you're on the beach side of the hotel. If you're on the main street side of the hotel, these little tuk-tuks and their subs it's quite unreal. And it goes all night long. And it's not just one, it's 20 of them driving around playing different music and stuff like that. So if you can't stay right on the beach, I would recommend staying a little further up the hill or off or something like that, just to get away from them, because there's a lot of nice places up on the sides of the hill.
Yeah, and we ended up staying on the west side of Phuket, and almost everything that we did was almost centrally located to the east side, because when we went to the elephants, which was such a great experience, again, that was the interior. When we went to the tigers, that was on the east side. When we went to the mall, and then we did the water park. So a lot of those
right in the middle.
Yeah. So it's not far. It's not hard to get around Phuket. So you really do have a lot of choices of where you stay, and just pick wisely.
Yeah. I still like Phuket. I think though, if you look at it, if you stayed on the east side, I don't think the beaches are as nice. There's more marinas over there if that's your thing. But the west side, there's quite a few beaches. And I've heard from a couple of friends just to keep going south. The further south you go, the better it gets. They set up where we stayed as kind of the party central, and we're too cool for that anymore.
We're too old.
They can't hang with us, so we just don't want to make them look bad. Favorite place first? I would go with Koh Tao.
Yeah.
Koh Tao is just, I like grungy kind of places, old ski towns and stuff like that. And Koh Tao was a grungy kind of place, so it was really easy to fit in and find a spot. So that's my number one.
So my favorite place, I think, was Koh Tao also. Again, it just had this really cool college town vibe to it, and I really just dug it. I don't know, something about that little island just got me.
You wanted to talk about the scams.
I do want to talk about the scams, because there are quite a few of them that you do need to know, and we're only going to go over a few of them.
You should tell us how we learned about the scams, though.
I will.
That's a good one.
Yes. So when we were picked up from the airport when we got to Bangkok, we were picked up by a driver and a guide that was previously arranged through our travel agency. And she was amazing. She sat there and told us all about the scams. She told us all about everything that we needed to know about traffic and night markets and everything. She was fabulous. And so we're going to pass on some of that information to you because thankfully she did. Because has she not, we might have fallen for it.
Yeah, it'd have been a lot steeper of a learning curve, that's for sure.
So the first scam that you need to know about is you may be tricked into thinking that an attraction is closed and it's not. Mm-hmm. So when we went to the big palace, the Grand Palace in Phuket, we had a guide, and we had told him after he took us through the palace, I said, we're going to go to the Sleeping Buddha. And he's like, great, it's just a 5-minute walk right down the street. Awesome. Never said anything about it being closed or anything, just said, yeah, go ahead. So as we were walking, this gentleman approached me, and Joel was with the kids kind of a little bit ahead of me. And this gentleman approached me and said, oh, where are you going, ma'am? And I said, oh, we're just going to the Sleeping Buddha. And he's like, oh, do you want to ride? And I was like, no, it's a 5-minute walk. We're good. And we like to walk. We walk everywhere. And
they like to try to convince you it's further than it is, so they can get you in the car and try to either sell you a longer ride or sell you something else.
Right. And he said, oh, you can't go to the Sleeping Buddha. It's closed. And I said, what do you mean it's closed? And he said, it's closed. It's only for the monks today because they're praying. And I said, well, that doesn't sound right. And so he pulls out this map and he's like, oh, but I can take you here and I can take you here and we can go here instead. And I was like, no, what? No. I was like, no, I think we're just gonna go. And he's like, you can't, it's closed. And I was like, okay, well, I think we're just gonna try anyway. But something in the back of my head just triggered and went, no, he's trying to sell us a different tour. And had I not known that, we probably would have fallen for it.
Yeah.
And the second scam is when we were walking up to the Grand Palace, the people they have to sell you like clothes. Like if you have your shoulders out or if men are wearing shorts, you need to cover those things up. And so the closer you get to the palace, the more expensive those tie pants are, or the shoulder, the coverings, the more expensive they get. And not by a little bit, but by like double and triple. So buy those things away from it or bring them with you so you don't have to pay. Don't pay more than 100 baht, because if you do, you're getting taken, and you're getting taken good.
And she likes to haggle, so she went right up to the front door and was just haggling with the people up there.
I was like, no.
I don't think he paid 60 baht for anything.
They do like it if you haggle with them a little bit, but I knew already because, like I said, Our Lady told us don't pay more than 100, and this lady was like, oh, 300, and I said, no, I said it's 100 over here, and she's like, no, it's 300, and I said, no, it's not, I'll go get it from her, and she's like, okay. So just be aware that they know how much to charge, and you should too. That way you don't get taken to the cleaners. Another scam is to be careful of the gemstone scams. Sometimes they will have these sellers out trying to sell you different gemstones, and just really make sure that you know the quality of them, because a lot of times they might be fake. So be aware of that.
That goes with anywhere.
That goes with anywhere, but...
Hey, stone testers, they're cheap and they're easy.
Yeah. The next one is taxi scams. So there are taxis everywhere. But the best practice would be to use an online service like Uber or things like that, because what will happen is they won't turn their meters on, or they'll take a much longer distance to get to where you need to go. So Uber or another online service is probably the best bet, so that you know that you're getting the lowest price and you're not paying more than you need to pay by going to a longer route.
I think there was one of the taxi services there that had an app. And they just told you just got your taxi, and I've seen it through the rest of the world. You just ordered your taxi, and it just told you right then, this is the price.
This is how much it is.
Yeah, because they'll mess with the meters and they'll do all kinds of stuff. I've gotten in there and there'd be like 300 baht already on it, and you're like, no. You need to fix that.
Yep, turn it back to zero.
Oh, sorry, sir. Yeah.
And they're so nice. There's a reason why this place is called the Land of 1,000 Smiles, because one, you smile and they're always smiling. They're just incredible. So just be aware of it, and they know when you call them out on it, they're good. They're okay with it.
It's not a big deal. You know, players got to play.
Yep. And the last one that you should be aware of that we're going to tell you about is we went jet skiing when we were in Koh Samui, and we had heard about this scam again, and it is the jet ski scam. And sometimes what will happen is there'll be something that is damaged on your jet ski, and then when you take it out and you come back in, they'll be like, oh, you damaged this, you damaged this. So just make sure that you really go through that jet ski and you make sure that you point out anything that's broken. And that includes the underside, because they will say, oh, you cracked the underside when you were doing something. I don't know how you're going to crack the underside if you're jet skiing, but just be really careful about that and point it out to them so they know that you know, so that when you bring it back in, they can't pin it on you.
Yeah, take pictures.
Take pictures, take a video of it.
Same thing goes with the scooters.
Yes.
Take pictures, take videos.
Yep.
You know, right when you're standing there with the paperwork, make sure he's in the picture. That way
Yes.
they can't dispute it.
Exactly. That just saves you.
Closing thoughts.
Oh.
We're going back. Don't know for how long, but we're definitely going to go back. We'll be there for at least probably 2 weeks. Then we kind of don't know if we're going to stay or if we're going to go somewhere else. We're probably going to go somewhere else.
We are going to go back to Phuket. We're staying in a little bit different spot than where we were before, so hopefully it's going to be a little quieter. And we will be there for 9 days. And then after that, we are getting on a boat, which if you know anything about us, or if you've been following on our Patreon, or you just know us just in general, we have been trying to get on a boat forever.
Years.
And that was the whole reason why we went to Indonesia last year. And we have already tried to get a boat two times this year, and it's fallen through, but hopefully this one will stick. We are going to get on a catamaran and we are going to go island hopping through Thailand, and we couldn't think of a better place to do it because Thailand just has a really special place in our heart, and so we are so thrilled.
Yep.
So thrilled.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So if you know of where we should go after Thailand, please let us know. Leave us a comment. And also leave us a comment about your Thailand experiences.
Or someplace we should go back to.
Oh, someplace we should go back to.
Maybe we got it wrong the first time.
Yeah. So, leave us comments. Let us know what you guys think. We've got 4 weeks after the boat that we need to plan, and we haven't planned that yet. So if you have any ideas, let us know. If there's something that we should see in Phuket, because we really haven't planned that yet, please let us know if there's something that we've missed. So yeah, we're so excited to go back. I cannot wait.
See you next time.
Bye.
So what are we doing on this episode?
Well, let's introduce ourselves.
Hi.
Just in case people
I'm
don't know.
Jamie.
Oh my God, this is the beginning of the outtakes. I might have to use that. Joel's Instagram pictures.
You don't have Magnum? What's our sponsor? Do we have a sponsor?
We do not have a sponsor.
Oh, yeah. We got to come up with our own fake sponsor. We should come up with a fake sponsor.
Sponsored by us.
This episode of The Sea Life was brought to you by
The Sea Life, because we paid for all of our own
Please have your pet spayed and neutered.
Okay, Bob Barker.
Heck yeah.
Favorite diving places? What? Did that sound stupid?
That was terrible.
Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button before heading over to Patreon, where you can support our efforts even further. You get exclusive content, ad-free videos, and so much more, just for showing your love. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.